Hey everybody, hanging out in the garden. I wanted to show you guys my progress. So, got some parsley growing, sweet basil. Got this one little itty bitty little baby right there. Thyme. Y'all excuse my chimes, they're heck of loud. Cucumber right there. That's more cucumber. Get my chair out the way. Got some lettuce right there. Ginger. Spaghetti squash. And that's about it for right now. Sure, I thought the wind would calm down a little bit. I'm gonna have to take this inside. Jesus. So I'll be back right here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this Friday? I just wanted to share my little garden. Got the little greenhouse yesterday. Me and my son put it together. It's coming along pretty good. Because that wind is no joke. Coming, that's for sure. So I was hoping to film out there, but like I said, it is really, really windy out there right now. I just wanted to pop in for a few, see how everybody's doing. Again, get caught back up with me. This week has been a fairly good week. Have no complaints. You know, things could always be better, but such is life. But it's not like anything it was last week, so I'm grateful. I've been focusing more on my gardening. Super excited because I was able to secure like a hydroponic system that is like extremely lightweight and hello, welcome in. Extremely lightweight. So, you know, being a renter, stuff like that matters to me just because you know, in case you got to move or whatever, it's like you don't have to lug a whole bunch of stuff. So the system is really cool, and once it gets here, I'll probably update you guys on that. It's because, like I said, my goal is to focus solely on hydroponics, just because I'm not messing with soil. Just really is not my forte. Even though, yeah, I got a little bit of growth going on out there, but I'm not ecstatic about messing with the dirt and the soil and bugs and all that jazz. Not saying you don't got to deal with that when it comes to hydroponics, but it's just a lot less. And it's a lot easier on your back too. I learned that the hard way over the last week. So I see why people turn to hydroponics, aeroponics, all that type of stuff. But for those of you who are coming in, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's had an awesome week. If not, I hope it gets better. And if you're not doing so hot today, I'm sorry to hear that. And I hope that, you know, at least your night can be a little better. At the very least, get some good rest. Putting my foot down now, more alcohol beverage. I mean, what? Zendaya, what? I'm confused. What's going on with the alcoholic beverages? Because we all know I don't drink here. So I'm going to leave that up to y'all. Grown folks who, you know, can legally partake in that stuff. But yeah, doing a little better this week mentally also. Last week, I don't know, I just feel like it was a big like drain on my energy. It was really weird. And like I had told you guys in one of my previous videos about the shifts and the triggers, well, last week I was triggered AF. So you know, but as you see, I'm back to default, smiling, giggling, laughing about just about everything, just because, this is who I am inherently until, people try to pull me out of myself. And I don't do so well with that, but I'm working on it. Like, stuff ain't easy, and gardening has been something that has been helping me. I will say that I see why people enjoy it. I've always wanted to start a little garden. It was just like I said with my or renting situation. I was just never really in an area where I could um, have a dedicated space just to like growing anything. So now that I'm in a place, we have enough space. And I always wanted to do like a greenhouse. So that, check and check. It's not exactly what I want, but it'll do for now. And it's temporary. But the hope is, once I get a home of my own or land of my own or whatever, I can grow as much and as many areas as I want to my little heart's content, because hubby approves. He's 100% on board and super supportive. Pretty much anything that keeps me calm, keeps me, in this case, being able to grow my own produce and stuff like that, at least a little bit of it really is a plus. I feel like can't really go wrong with it, but it's something I've always wanted to do. And I definitely I don't know, I've been getting this feeling like it's definitely something I should tap into sooner than later. Because, just like, hey, with these prices in the groceries and stuff like that, like, eh, it's produce has always been one of the most expensive purchases for my family. So that's why I kind of told my hubby, I was like, hey, if we can start growing some of the stuff some of the normal staples I buy, then I'm all for it. And I'm hoping as, the season gets going, I can buy a little less from the grocery store and just kind of supplement with what we have or what I'm able to bring to harvest. So big fingers crossed, which I'll probably step back out there again to give you guys another, look for those of you who are coming in a little later after I just went out there. I'm hoping the wind dies down a little bit because my chimes are going crazy. I got wind chimes out there and they are just going nuts. So I didn't want it to be where you guys are like fighting to hear me over the chimes the whole time. So I just stepped inside briefly. But yeah, this week has been a pretty good week. I'm looking forward to any new developments or updates on last week's stuff. Just because, like I said, with one of my shorts with the DOJ complaint and stuff like that, I put in. From what I understand is that they have to do their own like investigation if they're doing an investigation. Because under this administration, I'm not really holding my breath on civil rights stuff, but I figured it's better than not trying to do anything at all in this particular situation, especially if, it'll get me a step closer to being able to get not justice just for myself and my family, but for, being the precedent or the test dummy, so to speak, for all of us, TIs that belong to this community. Also, I've been working on something else, which hopefully I'm hoping to be able to present it to the channel within the next week or so. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything just right. I've also went ahead and started recording the medical disparity series. So hopefully, which is tied to the other thing that I'm working on. So hopefully for those of you who are interested in that still, you'll be able to check into that. Through the proper avenues that, like I said, I'm working on. And what else? Like I said, it's been pretty laid back, pretty lax. Being a TI or being an individual that is under scrutiny or chosen or whatever we want to call ourselves, stuff is always going to go on. Stuff is always going to happen, but we got to remember to always bring it back to the true focus, which is ourselves and making sure we're taking care of ourselves mentally, physically. From a fitness standpoint, if you're die hard in fitness, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm gonna be 100% real. I haven't been on my fitness tip. I know, tisk on me. But I don't know. I just haven't been feeling it. But ironically, I still been dropping weight. It, I swear to God, this is the story of my life. Like the more I try, the harder it is for me to lose, or drop pounds. But when I just stop trying, I drop pounds. Make it make sense. I don't get it. Well, I get it because I know for me, just like the body type that I have, I tend to not deal with inflammation so well. And I know, like I said, exercising like super strenuously can really inflame my body. So, which can be counterintuitive to the goals overall. So that's why, like I said, I try to focus on gentle exercise like walking, yoga, swimming if I can, stuff like that. I'm not, even though I love like lifting heavy things, it just don't agree with my body half the time anymore. So there's that. But like I said, if you guys found yourself having a really tough week this week, I'm hoping that, like I said, you can do whatever those things are that you help recenter yourself. And if you did react like how I did last week and you had a blow up or whatever, all I can hope for you is that, you forgive yourself. Remember that you're human. Everybody got their limits, and that you can just remember to keep moving forward. Like, because like I keep saying, like nothing happened because nothing did happen. Especially when you're doing your best to keep your cool, and people are unwarrantedly like trying to provoke you to anger, whatever. Like, yeah, you're not the one that's in the wrong in that. And like I said, that's 100% reactive abuse. So don't ever feel bad if you react or whatever. Just remind yourself, like, you know what, I'm better than this. I'm better than these people. I'm better than this situation. Because clearly, if you weren't, they wouldn't feel the need to do what they're doing to try to get your attention. Um, and that's something I've even had to come to realize, because I've never like looked at myself as someone who just goes out and tries to like get attention. Like even with me having my channel, like all of that stuff last week, that was not theatrics. Like that was me legit having moments of like just feeling fed up, and I'm like, look, if something don't happen, I might happen. And you get what I'm saying? It's like I'm trying not to get to that point, because it can really push you there, to that point if you let it. And that's why I'm saying, like, me being able to blow off some steam, yell, cuss, fuss, do whatever I need to do is way better than me putting my hands on someone and going to jail for life or whatever. Like it's I hate to say it, but we really do got to pick our battles. And it just sucks because we're not the ones signing up for these battles. They just keep finding us at the most unopportune times. And or it's like it's always at a time where you feel like you're doing great mentally, and then all it takes is that brief moment to happen, and they pull you out of your character, and then you're back to square one. Or it's kind of like that, what is it, like the incident counter that most like warehouse jobs have, where it's like, oh, 0 days without incident. And that's how I felt this week. I'm like, well, all those days I stacked up and collected from keeping my cool, I lost them all in a moment of just needing to get that out. But I'm also recognizing that sometimes you need to purge that stuff, because if you don't, it'll stack, and the consequences might be even more dire, not necessarily towards you but towards other people. And I'm the type of person, like, I don't like to take out my anger and frustration on other people, especially when I know, or if I know they've done nothing wrong or whatever. But sometimes other people innocently can get hurt in the fallout, um, because of that type of pestering that you might be receiving. So, keep checking in with yourself. It's okay if you're not okay. Like if today you're just like, no, I'm PO'd and I want to be PO'd and I'm gonna be PO'd until I go to bed, then that's cool. I mean, I don't ever recommend no one going to bed angry, but again, we're being real. It happens. It happens, and that's okay. Um, and if you got to go punch a pillow or scream in a pillow, hey, as long as it's healthy, get that anger and frustration out however you need to. Don't let this situation and stuff like that control you. Because that's what these entities, beings, or whatever you want to call them. That's what they want. They want us in shambles. They want us, not loving life, not enjoying life. And like, was I didn't go out per se this week like how I did last week, to the park with my son, just because all of that drained me and I needed to recharge. And I'm the type of person, like, stuff like that, when stuff like that happens, it takes me a minute to get myself back to my regular levels of, just being me and being carefree and happy and all that good stuff. So, um, and the last thing I want to do in moments like that is be around more people. Like, because I'm the type of person, I'm an empath, so I pick up on vibes and energy really fast. I can always instantly tell if somebody's really rocking me or not. And I don't know. I just feel like that's the default these days for me. When I go out, I feel like people are always um, seemingly throwing me off with their vibes, and it may not even be intentional. I'm not saying that like, oh, they're doing it on purpose, but I'm just, for some, yeah, absolutely. They go out of their way to try to make me feel uncomfortable in the space. But the thing about me is, like, I know I belong in whatever space I show up in. Like, my husband, myself, and my youngest son, we did go to the library just a few moments ago. Not we got back, and because my son had a book that he needed to pick up from the library and he wanted to check out some more books. And from the last time I've been to this particular library, I guess, this area got more like Trump flags. And at least I'm glad that these type of people are showing us exactly who they are and what they're about. Not that I didn't already know that, but I said, is that going to deter me from going to that area where that library is in particular? No, because at the end of the day, the library is a free public space for all, unless the laws done changed, or the current administration done put a ban on only a certain type of people can go to the library. My family and I will continue to go to libraries frequently or infrequently as we please, because that is one place that we kind of consider our solace. We're a family that likes to read. We're a family that likes to explore and hike and all that good stuff. And that's something that I feel like we haven't really been able to do a lot since we've gotten here. We've been able to do a few sessions, but not as frequently as we're used to. And a lot of that has, like I said, been due to, people trying to like bully us in public spaces or trying to intimidate us. And it's like, yeah, we're here, to stay as long as we are here for. So it's like, people might as well just get over it, because we're not going anywhere. And I'm not, we're not breaking any laws. We're not hurting anybody. At the end of the day, we just want someone to come get his books. We go back home and we chill. And that's what we're doing. But like I said, I didn't really get out as much this week. Like, I've been encouraging you guys to try to push past your comfort zone just a little bit. Again, nothing that is going to like send you into a, what's the word I'm looking for? Nothing that's going to send you into like a frenzy or spiraling out, but to just slowly but surely try to do something that's within your comfort zone. If it's once a week, once a month, like whatever it is, try to do something that will get you out, back in the public eye just a little bit. Just so like every time you go out, it's not so jarring. Because I know for me, like when I spend too much time at home, it does get like, I get antsy and I'm like, yep, nope, nope, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And that's just my personality. That's how I've always been. And it's like, yeah, it's too many people, I'm ready to go home. But there are times where I can be in a space where it's a lot of people and I'm not, and I'm cool and I'm chill. Kind of like when I did the IKEA video, and I was okay. Like, I wasn't, bugging or spazzing about that. So every day is different, every day is new. It just really all depends. Warrior of Lifetime's new cooking videos. I actually paused my upcoming kit for this upcoming week. However, I'm pretty much gonna be freestyling all week. So if I come up with a really good recipe, or if I make a good recipe, I don't mind trying to film something for you guys this week, if you're, for those of you who are interested in that content. Because I know I did do the poll, asking my male viewers. And the reason I asked my male viewers is because apparently, from what I could see in my analytics, most of you guys are dudes, which I didn't know that. I'm fairly kind of surprised by that, considering the fact that, I don't know, like I anticipated I have like a good mix or more women, but my channel is a safe space for everyone who wants to be here. I'm not, pushing anybody out. And if you, like I said in my one video, if you're a good man and you're here and you like hearing that type of content, hey, you're welcome. I am not push you out of this space. Um, oh, that's awesome. That you like to cook. No, that's great. I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest. I've been cooking for so many people. Well, more so me and my family, and I get burnt out sometimes. That's actually what started us getting the Hungry Root kits, because I just was running out of ideas. I feel like I had made everything that I could make every which way, and I still was like, yeah, I can't, I can't really come up with anything new. Um, but yeah, so I'm hopeful that, in the coming weeks, that you guys will be able to see a little more content from me. Like I said, I swear I'm flowing with so many different ideas, and of course my struggle is just trying to make sure I organize and get them out accordingly. And some days I'm more productive than others. Again, just being 100% transparent. There's other days I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing anything. But then there's days where, like, I got this idea, I got that idea, I got this idea. So to continue to just remain consistent as best I can, and to just keep being honest and being real with you guys, because I'm assuming you all like that. The honesty, the authenticity, the integrity. Um, not not being fake. Like, if I was having a bad day, I would tell y'all I'm having a bad day. Um, Kind of like last week. Last week was not the best of weeks, but I got through it. I'm alive. Here to see another day, so can't really be mad or disappointed about that. You said I'm from the South. Oh, awesome. Me too. Definitely. It's crazy. I kind of miss it a little bit, which is crazy because when I was there, I was like, "Oh, this is terrible." Boy, was I wrong. Like, there are, what's that whole saying talking about the grass isn't always greener? I'm learning that the hard way, but it's a lesson I feel like I needed to learn. So that's why now I no longer have any immediate perceptions about any place anymore. Like, I'll get there and judge it for myself and just go from there. So I don't know. My chimes are still pretty going pretty crazy, and I can hear them from my area. So it's like, I was gonna say that's the creepiest thing ever. As soon as I said that, they stopped and then they started back. Because I was hoping it calmed down a little bit so I can take you guys back out there. I mean, it's not a lot growing back there, because, like I said, most of it I plan on putting in my hydroponic system once it gets here, which I'm so excited for. I'm so excited. Um, yeah, they're still going, but yeah, it's crazy, I never envisioned that I'd be experiencing the type of stuff I'm experiencing. And let alone being able to find a community that's going through similar things. So I think that's the one place I can really take solace and really find comfort in knowing that I truly am not alone, even though I may not necessarily have anyone in my immediate vicinity, outside of my family, of course. But I'm still hopeful that, one day we'll all be able to meet or unite or something, because I don't know. Like, I've watched a couple of my other like TI chosen content creators this week, and a lot of them were saying, like, that they're feeling lonely, and that, they're just getting tired of the everyday shenanigans, and also they too have been experiencing like a ramp up of just, the I'm just keep saying shenanigans, that we all have been enduring, and I'm sure you all can relate to some degree. But I don't know, like I feel like we've gotten through the worst of it, if that makes sense. Like I don't know how I know that or why I know that, but I feel like we're finally getting ready to turn a leaf or turn a page with this. I'm the type of person, like, most of the time throughout the week, I'm, here with my son, so I'm not I'm not 100% always like with my husband. So that's why when we are together, we try to make the absolute most of our time together. But like when I'm just here cooling, like most of the time I'm either reading, working on content for the channel, helping my youngest with schooling, um or like I said, just trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. Again, that's hard pressed, especially when you feel like you just have so many like situations that are always seemingly to pop out every time you leave your house, and it's like, yeah, it can really make you not want to just interact with the world at all, which in some cases can be okay for a time, but eventually it's like, you got to go back out there, you got to go grocery shopping or something eventually. So it's like you kind of just got to, you know bear through it, and just go take a chance and hope that this encounter or that this time out is different, because that's pretty much look at it. For me, when I go out, like I hope that is different, but if it's not, I'm like, oh well, this is what I was expecting. So I'm not even shocked or surprised anymore. I'm also getting to that point where I'm like, you know what, all the time that I would like go out and like go grocery shopping and stuff like that, like I'm getting back into a mode where I'm like, I'm gonna just order it and just send it to the house, because again, if that'll help me minimize, having to interact with people like that and then being able to reserve my energy, I'm gonna just keep doing that. Because I recognize that with me having my channel as well, that sometimes, some of these people I might be experiencing may low key be fans, possibly. I don't know. And it's crazy because I don't look at myself as like no big time YouTuber or nothing like that, but that it still doesn't matter. Creeps can be creeps sometimes, but then you have legitimate people who are, just curious about you, and think that they have familiarity with you because they see you online and stuff like that, and what you post and all that good stuff. And I get it, but it's like I'm the type of person, like when I'm out in public, especially with my family, I prefer just keep your distance. Like if you want to say hello, you can say hello, and that's fine. But don't do too much. Don't do too much. But I think that's what it boils down to, is just not knowing everyone's intent. And that's the part where like it makes me just keep my guard up. No matter where or what I'm or whom I'm dealing with. That's just me. Um, and I think it just kind of, like I said, goes with the territory, especially of being an online presence. Again, I am no big time or whatever. Like I know I still have a substantially small channel, and that's fine by me, because that's not why I started this channel. But I'm not knocking down being able to grow my following, especially if it'll force more like-minded people like myself who are just interested and finding new ways to encourage each other and to try to stay positive again as best we can. That's why, like for me, with the gang stalking content, as I've said time and time again, it's not what I wanted the focal point of my channel to be. However, that seems to be what everyone else seems to be most interested in when it comes to my channel. And then also, I still am experiencing, these things. So of course, when they come up, and if and when I feel like I need to address them, I'm going to address them, and I don't mind doing that on here and in other, platforms. But I don't want that to be like my whole identity. Like, oh yes, the gang stalker chick. Like, that's not what I wanted. But, you know, it's kind of like that whole, I feel like I'm answering a calling, even if it wasn't mine. My idea, I should say, but I feel like I'm answering a calling, and clearly I must be helping someone, and at least, and that's the most I can hope for, is that it's helping somebody. Even if it's not even me. Like if it's helping one of you, then I'm okay. Like because that was really why I started it, was to make people aware, to spread awareness. And I know my last, like I said, couple of videos, I was calling for us to unite and try to, you know, hone down on fighting this stuff together. But I'm slowly starting to realize that, especially if it's from a spiritual standpoint, if what we're going through is wholly spiritual, then there is nothing that we really can do on this physical plane that will stop or change what we're going through. And as much as I would like to, oh, hold on, let me finish my thought, and I'm gonna get to you, Truth Rises. Hold on. So, as much as I would like to, um, sit here and be like, oh yeah, the DOJ will step in, I'm not really crossing my fingers on that. I'm really not. But at least I can say I tried, you know. But True Raj, you said X class solar flare 1.14 just hit today. That means major upgrades plus intense warfare. Yep. I did read about that more what was it, black flare or black spots or whatever have been opening up on the sun or something like that. Look, I'm keeping 100 with you. I'm sitting here waiting like in Heroes. I'm waiting for that damn solar eclipse to hit because I'm waiting on my powers. I'm being 100% for real with y'all. Like, I'm being so serious. The car to my husband about that because I'm like, boy, don't mess around and give me no powers because I'm telling you, some people go get it. If I'm being honest. But yeah, True Rises, we here, bro. We here. The tables are going to be turned, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the energy. That's the energy that I'm getting too. Like, stuff is getting ready. Like, stuff is coming to a close because we're at an impasse at this point. It's like, you can only go up, 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 up so much till you got to come down. So, and in our case, it'll be us going up and them going down. You get what I'm saying? Because they done been up for so long, and especially doing the mess that they've been doing. So, I 100% agree. Oh yeah, you're right. That is tomorrow. Like, I see, that's what I'm saying. I low key be checking in with stuff like that. Warrior Lifetimes about the clips and stuff like that. I do try to keep up with that type of stuff because I recognize that it does have impacts on us as beings. Like, whether people believe in it or not, it does. It's kind of like how when people, say like, oh, a full moon is out and people just be acting real erratic and stuff like that. Like, that stuff does, impact us. So I'm right here with you. Absolutely. Evil has to fall and they doing too much stuff. Yeah. Now, I it's funny you say that because I had a discussion with my husband. I was like, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I get to the end of this life or whatever, and I find out I went through all this for nothing, oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose it. You telling me I put up with all these people's bull for nothing? Oh, I'm gonna lose it. I'm going to lose it in a good way, though. In a good way. I'm gonna be very upset. I should say. I'll be very upset. Just watch the show Heroes. Yeah, I been rewatching it myself, and I'm glad that I did because there are so many little gems in that show that I did not pick up on the very first time that I watched the series, which of course I was a teen, so of course it didn't, hit and make sense to me then. But now, after experiencing what I've been experiencing, I'm like, oh my gosh, there was so much truth in that show that they were sharing that I don't think a lot of people picked up on. And even regarding gang stalking, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like Claire's dad, that's literally what homeboy was. Like, he up here taking snatching these people off the streets because they got powers and stuff. Which is crazy because it goes to show you that even, he ended up changing his tune and ended up doing the right things and ended up helping those people because even he realized like what he was doing was wrong. So that's how I know, like, even though, we got a lot of these people out here that whether they are knowingly doing this stuff or possessed or whatever you want to call it, or under, somebody's puppet strings, they still got time to turn things around. But we know that some people just are irredeemable. Because I think it was the scripture that say that certain people will be given up to reprobate mind, and that a lot of these individuals will be doing all these things, thinking that they're doing it in God's name, but they're not. And so it's so much to unpack and to really dive into when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Um, but that's why I'm at a point now. I'm like, I'm not overly racking my brain about it. I don't want to say I'm accepting of it, but I acknowledge, okay, yeah, ha ha, yeah, you got me, and then I'm just trying to move on. Like so what? At the end of the day, if they ain't willing to take me up out of here, it's like, okay, yeah, you got me today, but I still get to wake up tomorrow and live and do all this stuff all over again. So it's like, at the end of the day, you're just wasting your own time. But I digress. Um, so yeah, I I don't know. I'm just waiting. I guess I'm like you guys. Like, I'm just waiting for something substantial to happen. Like, I know something, from all the prophecies and things like that I've studied and researched about. Like, this isn't just a me saying this thing. Like, I know, like, there's going to be something that's going to happen on a big scale that's going to change the world as we know it, at least. Or at least that's how I feel. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to be patient, just trying to keep my cool and don't lose my life and or lose my sanity, because that's what I feel like these creatures or creepers or whatever we want to call them are trying to do. They're trying to make as many of us crash out so that we miss our spot, or that we lose our spot. They can trick us out our spots, basically, um, and take our place. But that's the thing. Like, if you're chosen, like, you've been chosen, no one can take that from you unless you relinquish it. It kind of reminds me of what was it, like the story of the prodigal son in scripture, where he um he gave up his birthright and wanted to go, wild and party and all that jazz. And but he always still had that spot. So when he came back from living La Vida Loca and all that stuff, when he came back, he still had his spot. He may not have had his birthright the way that he wanted, but he still had his spot. And that's how I feel with this. Like, what we have, what we possess, it's not on us, it's in us. And that's not something that anyone can take from us unless we give it up. And, for as much as stuff like this sucks and I hate going through stuff like this, I'm not willing to give up my spot, because then that would make everything that I've gone through, null and void. And it's like, then I was like, yeah, I just went through all this mess for no reason at all, just to still end up where I thought I was going to end up. So it's like, yeah, that's why I'm on here encouraging you guys, or encouraging you all. Don't let these people trick y'all like y'all spot. It's a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with is spiritual in nature, and I truly, truly believe that. But I also believe that we have not been given this task, and we have not been left out in the cold with no tools. Even if we don't have the proper tools or skills or whatever now, I feel like that's something that we will end up evolving into. And I also do feel like it's going to happen in our lifetimes, because I know sometimes people say things like this and they're like, oh, well, it may not be in our lifetime. I'm like, no, I'm claiming it. It's gonna happen in our lifetime. I gotta see how this stuff plays out, because I don't want it to have to pass on to my, children, my children's children. Like, no, I want it to end with my lineage. I want it to end with me. You know what I'm saying? So that my future, lineage can live in peace. They don't have to deal with this type of crap. So that's why I said, I know I'm a warrior. I know I have a strong spirit. And I know that just because of how people treat me, people have been trying to control my said spirit and break my spirit for such a long time. So, it's like people don't do that to things that they deem weak. If I was a weakling, they would have been had me. But because I'm not weak, because I continue to stand strong, that's why they keep coming at me, because, oh, What way can we get her today? We try to come through her children. We try to come through her husband. We try to come for her health. We try to come for her money. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and I have literally jumped over all of those hurdles that they've thrown at me, every last one. I ain't saying I ain't come out with a couple of scars and bruises, but I can't. But I made it through. So, and I know that you all have too. And even if stuff feels bleak right now, I'm telling you, there is something on the horizon. Like I just feel it. I feel it in every fiber of my being. I wish I could say, oh yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and like I wish I could know for certain. But of course, some of these things just aren't meant for us to know until it goes down. But I do believe that when the time does come, there's gonna be a lot of weeping people. There's gonna be a lot of people that's just 100% in shambles because they thought that they were doing the right thing. And I think that's the only aspect of where I feel sorry for those people because, just a lot of the things that people are up here fighting each other over and about is like insignificant. Like I really do feel like we as people sometimes miss the bigger picture. And there's so much at risk and so much at stake right now, but a lot of it is kind of out of our hands. So that's why we just kind of got to sit back and watch and see how it plays out. Um, and all the while, protecting ourselves and our sanity and our time, and preparing as best we can, whatever that looks like. Because I know, like for me and my family, we've always kind of been like minorly interested in like prepping and emergency prepping and stuff like that. But I also am smart enough to know like, hey, anything could happen. Like anything that you stored up or whatever could easily be gone in a moment if it didn't, or if your home catches fire or major flood or whatever. Like all that stuff could be gone in a blink of an eye. So it's like I try not to lean and rely on that, but I'm also not, just gonna be sitting here and being a sitting duck. That's why, like with the gardening, I feel like that is a skill that anyone and everyone should know how to grow something, just because you really just don't know what might happen. And it's a good skill to have. It's a good skill set, and it's something that could definitely be useful if, Lord forbid, if anything major ever happened in our world, in our country, where we lost power or electronics or whatever. Like people are gonna have to go back to bartering. People are gonna have to go back to the basics. So that's why I feel like that's an area where that's just a basic of life. I've always tried to instill in my children to learn how to do things for themselves first and foremost before asking for help. Um, and I'm the same way. I try to learn how to do things myself. Like I know how to work on my car a little bit. I ain't no mechanic, but I'm a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to like fix some of my electronics in the house. Like I done disassemble my printer more times than I care to admit right now. But a lot of that curiosity that I have has actually worked out for my benefit. And some of that I thank my mom, because I used to watch her do things like that. And that's kind of, I feel like, what sparked that love of like taking things apart, putting them back together and seeing how they work or whatever. Like I appreciate her for that. And then my dad too, to a lesser extent. Like my dad is definitely type of man. He is a hard worker, and he would always be building things and making something out of nothing. So I get it, honest is what I'm basically trying to say. And I know not everyone just inherently has that skill or ability, but I'm telling you, you don't have to. That's right, Jack of all. There you go. I like to call myself Jane of all trades, or Swiss Army wife. That's what I like to call myself. Because my husband truly did get blessed in that avenue. He got a wife that pretty much know how to do a little bit of everything, if I'm being completely honest. So, but yeah, you are so right. Truth rises. We are jacks of all trades, absolutely. And I'm saying, like, you ain't got to go to no school and then shoot. YouTube Academy is where I learn most of the stuff I don't already inherently know. So, a lot of this knowledge is out here for free. Shoot, I say take advantage of it while you can, because none of this stuff is a sure thing. None of it. So, And I know, like, if I try to have this conversation with, people still in the mindset, oh, everything's good, everything's fine, la la la, I'm looked at like, oh, she's one of those crazy prepper people. I'm like, no, I just believe in, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. Just saying. Just kind of like with, not to get too into politics, because I want to try to keep that stuff off my channel, but I've been seeing a lot more about the whole Department of Education and how people are being impacted by, or people's children's schools are being impacted by these decisions and stuff like that. No, you're fine, Truth Rises. Like, I appreciate the you guys contributing to the conversation, because then I don't just like a weirdo sitting here talking to my phone. So no, definitely feel free. This is a free space. Like, as long as we're all being respectful and coming with love, I'm with it. So that's it. But no, you're not doing too much. This is the type of interactions that I crave, if I'm being honest. Because I don't get a lot of the stimulation outside of, like I said, my hubby or my kids even. Like, I don't, it's not a lot of people I can have these type of conversations with. So I appreciate you guys. I do. And I hope, I can be here for you guys in that avenue too. Like, if there's something that you guys, or that you all, I'm sorry, I keep saying guys. I know everybody on here isn't guys. Stop calling everybody guys. But but I know you all have your own personal hot button issue for you. So hey, please feel free. Sure, I might even do lives or whatever. I'm completely into that. But let me get back to my first thought about the school, Department of Education, and stuff like that going on in our country. For those who are in the U.S., um, it's a lot going on, and from what I understand, is that they're returning the decisions and stuff like that over a lot of the education practices back to the states. And this is something where it's like, I see people crashing out about it, because some states that they live in may not be either teaching what they want their children to know, or not teaching what they want their children to know. So it's like, this is an area where I'm grateful that I, pulled my children out of public education and started homeschooling them. And it's been a journey, but I am grateful that that is something that I took the plunge and started doing, just because I had reservations about doing it. I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to, and I was freaking out, and I was like, but you know what, Ashley, but you're willing to learn, and that's really all you need in this life. You have to have the ability to want to learn, and you're good. Like, you don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to model, your school after the public schools and all that. You can actually do better than that. Like, for me, my main focus is on my children and what their specific interests are. For example, my youngest son, he really is into engineering. He's into building things. He's into taking things apart and putting them together. So that's what we focus his course study on for the most part. Outside of traditional, mathematics, language arts, social studies, and I try to encourage that. We bought him like circuit systems to play with at home. He has like a little solar robot that he can like configure. I think like over 120 different ways, and stuff like that. And when and that's what parents should do. Like, when the system is failing us or failing our children, that's where we as the parents should step up and fill in, because whether we remember this or not, but we are our children's first teachers. And I know for me, for sure, like, I taught my children ABCs, one, two, threes, how to read. So when they started pre-K kindergarten, their teachers, oh my gosh, he already knows how to count to 100. Like, yeah, I taught them those things. I didn't let my children go into this world ill prepared. And for me, them learning and having a proper education has always been important. So when I'm seeing, what's happening in the public setting, I hate it for, the children that unfortunately, they have parents that just aren't able to pull them out or put them in private or whatever, or homeschool, because I recognize that that's a privilege for some people. And I really do hate it because I feel like those are the people that are suffering the most are the children in that particular instance. So, that's why I'm grateful that I have the privilege to be able to stay home with my children to make sure that they're getting the proper education without all the fluff, is what I like to call it, without worrying about all of those other things that tend to go along with being in a public school system and or a private school or what have you. Because my children, they really don't need a lot to be happy. Like my youngest son, he trips me out sometimes because I know my husband and I, we tend to ask him like what does he want for like his birthday and all that. I promise you, no lie, for like the eighth consecutive year, just books, books. He does. He doesn't ask for clothes. He doesn't ask for food. He doesn't ask for. Well, I mean, he gets cake and ice cream and all that standard, but he doesn't ask for the things that kids his age would be. Oh, I want the new Nike, Reebok, iPhone. He don't ask for none of that. He just want books. That's all he wants. So, and we one thing about our family, we don't ever say no to books. We say, hey, you want a book? Cool. There's been times we go in the store, we ain't going there for books, but we leave out a cart full of books because hey, we're never gonna say no to knowledge. We're never gonna say no to an opportunity for him to learn. And so, I say all that to say that clearly we all are seeing stuff being dismantled right in front of our faces. So let us not wait a step before we do something about it. You get what I'm saying? Or at least for can't change anyone else's circumstances if ours isn't in order, if you get what I mean. So that's why I say all that about learning to be a jack of all trades. May not interest a lot of people, but I really do feel that the way things are going, people are going to be pushed in that direction whether they want to or not. So it's like might as well just if it's something minuscule, like hey, if you don't know how to boil a pot of water, you might want to start practicing. If you don't know how to cook rice without a rice cooker, you might want to start practicing because it's really not as difficult and as challenging as we make it seem. And or I know some people may not have just grown up with someone to teach them those things. So I hope, with just my little cooking videos, if that can help, I hope it helps. But I feel like I've been blessed with a wellspring of knowledge and skills because the position that I serve in this life, at least, has made me have to do a lot of things on my own. So um, I don't mind, coming and sharing at least what I do know with you all or those who are interested in learning from me, because there are some people that they're not interested in teaching others. They're not interested in helping other people do good for themselves. So, I'm not one of those people. I'm not a gatekeeper. Like if I know something I can help, I will. But again, it all depends on the circumstances, depends on how you coming at me. You get what I'm saying? Because there's some people, like I said, I like to just come in your space and want you to do for them because they don't want to have to do it. And it's not because they don't possess the capability to do it for themselves. They just, they don't want to have to do it. They want someone else to do it for them. And for that, I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm not gonna coddle you on that. We're all adults here, at least. I would hope so. From what I see in the analytics, we are. We're all very much so grown. But I recognize that we all also are at different places in our lives. Me, I just had a earlier start to mine than most in terms of having a family young. So there was a lot I had to learn just hitting the ground running. That a lot of people are only like learning now, because they started, their families from a traditional standpoint. And I recognize that. Shoot, there were, individuals I knew who didn't even have their own place, like fresh out of high school, whereas me and my husband already had our own place and all that. And that's because, yeah, we had a kid. So we had to, become self sufficient very early on and looking out for ourselves. And we've been doing that the entirety of our marriage. So it's like we're only able to improve in a lot of those areas, but we're also not opposed to learning from others who have other skill sets that we may not acquire or may not have acquired yet. But I hope what I'm saying makes sense to you guys. I'm sorry if I kind of went off on one of my mini tangents, because I know that I am very much so aware that I have squirrel moments. So that was a squirrel moment, but I hope it was a educational at the very least. Um, I don't know, I'm grateful to have this community, and it's really opened my eyes to a lot, and I'm wanting to I'm just I'm just elated because I have so many like things I want to get out and to introduce. Like for example, this afternoon I started a new little thing that I'm gonna be doing, that I'm working on with, which is like the gang stalker. Like I still don't have a proper title for it, but like how I put like the glasses and the earbud, like oh gang stalker starter pack, and I have so many like funny ideas about stuff like that, just because there's been a lot of things that I've experienced, a lot of stuff that I've seen from my own personal accounts, and it's like, yeah, I may not have been able to capture it in that moment, but it's still stuck with me up here. So it's like, no, like, yeah, I'm a targeted individual, but I'm not just gonna take this stuff laying down. Like I'm gonna poke fun at it somehow, some way, in my own little way, and that's kind of like my way of like, yeah, I'm putting the heat back on y'all, making people aware of how y'all move, and those people when they see them. Not saying that everybody that wears sunglasses and earbud and shades and a hat is a gang stalker, but you study them long enough, you know the ones that are there, and for good reasons or not, you know. And I have, like I said, I have more stuff coming out like that. So for those of you who also are enjoying that type of content and or humor, I do have a good few more ideas in this noggin of mine that I'm working on that. Also, I'm trying to get my shorts up. I'm not so good with the shorts, but I'm trying to get better. And also, if there's anything you all would like to see more of, please don't be shy. Share, because it'll let me know how I can better help you all too, or at least give you a good laugh or something. Because I'm a mixed bag. If I can be hella serious and then I can be hella goofy. Like so, I don't know. I want to be able to help wherever I can. If you need comedic relief, I got you. If you need serious content, I got you. But I don't know. Maybe we can go back out and see the garden before I sign off here. I feel like I've kept you all long enough. I'm sure some of you guys, or excuse me, I'm sure some of you are trying to get your Friday night kicked off right. If you're going out or um sorry, if you're going out or if you're staying in, shoot, whatever you're gonna do, I hope you enjoy yourself. Let's see if it's calmed down. Somewhat. Let's see. So there's Greenhouse and the chimes going nuts. And then another look at the little plants, or wannabe. Some of them haven't even sprouted yet. Let's see. Got my ginger. There's nothing in that one. I actually had to get rid of some sunflowers because they kind of died on me. But I'm going to try again. So cucumbers. More ginger. Lettuce. And my spaghetti squash. And that's Big Bertha. That's my son's cactus. The only plant we've been able to keep alive the longest. So she's still hanging in there. Okay, and I got these guys up here. Yeah, this is the one I got from IKEA, so they're acclimating pretty good. It's kind of how I set it up. Whew. So let's see. Yeah, y'all don't mind that. That's some of the culprits in question, but we're not going to pay them no mind. They love to take any opportunity they can to be or into themselves in my life somehow, some way. So, but yeah, I enjoyed this hangout session. I know it's not as long as like last week because I know I can get long-winded, but I just wanted to pop back in like I told you guys, or like I told you all I would, and give you another update, and also what's what I look for? Give you another update, check in with everyone, see how we're feeling, how we're doing, and just let you all know that we got this. Like, we got no choice but to keep moving forward and keep pushing along. That's all we can do. So, go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for joining this live. I hope you're able to gain something from it. Oh, excuse me. I might jump on here again tomorrow. I mean, I definitely know I don't have nothing going on tomorrow. So if we want to like jump on and just do like a hangout session, maybe I can, or hold on, maybe I can talk to you guys about, where is it? I got this brought it in. Talk to you, or talk to you all. See, I keep doing it. I'm saying guys, my bad. Talk to you all about the book I've been currently reading, which is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. See, I told y'all I be reading. I definitely be reading. I haven't made a big dent in it yet, but it's been interesting so far. And or I could share some other books that I've either been like reading intermittently, or let me see. So I swear I have so many that I've been dealing with here lately. So this is one I just recently got. It's in a, oh, let me get this. It's an apothecary book. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Dr. Delbert Blair and his teachings, and the Meta Center in Chicago that's run by, I believe, his protege, Tony Vortex. And which I love Dr. Blair's lessons. I love his lectures. He's no longer with us, but I feel like that man was a prophet, in my opinion, because he knew so much, and I learned a lot from his teachings. He's whom I learned so much like esoteric knowledge from, and more about metaphysics and stuff like that. But this is a book I recently purchased because I want to get my own apothecary going, which is another reason I wanted to start gardening and trying to preserve my herbs and stuff like that, to have those type of things on hand, because I definitely am a believer in having let me see, a believer in having, stuff like that on hand just in case, because like I said, nothing's promised, you never know. But I don't know, I'm sure we can hang out a little bit tomorrow. Maybe we can find specific topics to talk about, or topics like a rapid fire type thing, and or like we just want to ping ideas off of each other, or people want to do another like Q&A session or something like that. Like whatever we're down for. I'll probably try to do it in the evening or close to like late afternoon, like around now ish. If not, then I'll for sure be back with you all next week. Like I said, I'm working on some content that's going to another project right now. So I don't necessarily have anything lined up for next week's content either. I just plan on trying to just pop in with you all with the lives to kind of check in and touch base in the meantime while I'm working on that other stuff, trying to get all that stuff put together, because I want to just keep everything open and honest, in terms of like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna be on, no, I'm not gonna be on. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people waiting around for a video to drop that I don't ever drop. So that's why I'm letting you know I definitely am okay with like jumping on tomorrow, just because I know I'm not gonna probably have anything coming up next week. So go ahead, jump on, and just basically just hang out like today. And yeah, like that's pretty much it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Thank you all for joining the live once more. And until next time, see you.